everyone, and welcome back to Between Realities. It is a pleasure to have you here with us. My name is Alex. I am joined here, as always, by my co-host, Skiva. Skiva, how you doing, brother?
Oh, man, I'm good. As usual, we scrambled up until the very second we went live to get everything taken care of and done. And I see our video is a little off there because of the table, but whatever. Yeah,
fine.
We're here. And that's all that matters.
That's right.
But that's not all that matters, because we have an awesome guest, and I am excited to talk to him and not bitch about our technical difficulties.
We joke around about the show being called Between Technical Difficulties,
yes.
And that it's usually the case.
Yeah.
So we thank you guys for your patience while we got up and running today. We are here, and we are not the only ones who are here. We have an awesome audience already amassing here for us. We've got Grumpy Duck is here. What's up, man? It's always a pleasure to see you. I am looking forward to gaming with you soon.
What's up, Grumpy?
We've got some Beat Saber planned. Frost Pix is here. Pleasure to have you here with us. Thanks for joining. Reality's here. Mr. Trinidad made it in time, the homie. A pleasure to have you. Limitless Gaming, of course, because it wouldn't be the show without Limitless Gaming. We've got
the man.
Gyarados, but it's with a V. It's not GY, it's GV. Gyarados. Thanks for joining us, man.
Wow, impressive.
We got Yeppy Beer. That's the best I got for you, brother. Yeppy Beer. 1 a.m. Nick. Thanks for joining us, man. A pleasure to have you here with us, dude. Andreas is here.
Nice.
That's Bull.
Nice.
Rasbo.
Nice.
Dude.
Lots of peeps. Lots of peeps.
Yep. This is super, super awesome.
Well, shit.
Delirium Drew, shit, Mateo, Gamertag. Holy crap. Thank you guys so much for being here. And let's get started, huh? Do you want to?
Do it. Let's do it. Let's bring in our man.
I'm normally excited to introduce our guests, but unfortunately this week, sadly, it's Bradley.
Sadly, it is Bradley. What's up, buddy?
Dude.
How you doing, man?
Hello, man. Thank you for joining us, brother.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Listen, everybody, we had to this guy was hard to pin down. You know, he's a tough guy. it's not easy to get along with, and this is going to be an awkward show. So we.
Oh, dude. So yeah, we got to play with this guy recently, huh?
We did, dude. You are a fucking pro gamer, aren't you?
I'll call myself a washed up pro gamer at this point. It's already been 2 years since I won the big competition, but yeah, we did get all to play the Final Assault charity tournament, which was really cool. It's a good way to unrattle my bones from pro gaming for a little bit there.
Dude, I mean, you got to travel and be a pro gamer and go and win a tournament in another country. That's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah. All my fans are tired of me talking about it, but I really, it was like, I think it's like up there for my like top 3 moments in my life. It was incredible. I mean, I've always like watched esports, and then when I had the chance to try to compete for something like this, I spent hours and hours and hours just grinding like 300. Like I wouldn't sleep. I would just be constantly thinking about this tournament, man. It like made me go crazy for a little bit, but
dude,
wow. That's kind of everything.
I think like the idea of being a pro gamer is very glorious, right? Like, it sounds amazing, and like, every now and then you're like the best kid on your block, so like you kind of have that feeling of like, hey, maybe I could, maybe I could be a pro gamer and I could do that. But like, I don't think everyone really understands like the whole like tip of the iceberg scenario that comes down to with pro gaming. Like the amount of fucking time that goes into like acquiring the skills necessary to win in these tournaments is astronomical. Like I can only imagine the hours.
And to do it while everyone's watching. Well, that sounds kinky, but you know what I'm saying? Like that, like all these people are like watching you game, and that's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure.
It's funny you say that, because that was what everyone always tells me when but I think for VR, it's a little bit different, because once I was on the stage, yeah, I'd be a little jittery with all the audience out there. But when I put on the headset and the headphones, like you forget everything. You're just like so immersed. So I think VR gaming for esports is like less stressful. At least it was for me. Than maybe like being put in a booth where there's a whole huge stadium, and even if you have your monitors kind of blocking the audience, you'll still like kind of see it. But I mean, once I was in the headset, like I forgot I was on a stage in front of people. But yeah.
Actual like time, like how many training hours do you think you put into, like if you could try to like put a number on it? Like, I mean, because like I said, I don't think people understand how much time it actually takes.
Yeah, I mean, I took I did like 300 hours in 2 months which of that game, and it was just constant. Like I would wake up, I would eat, drink, and I would just play the game, because I really wanted. It wasn't even about like the money, but like I told my my fans or my Discord friends back then, I was like, I'm gonna really do this, because this is just one of those dreams that I wanted to knock off my list, is just to win a tournament that is like this big. So like I was taking it seriously as best as I can. I didn't know if other people were gonna take it seriously, but I just wanted this in my life. I wanted to check. I see my life as a bunch of check marks, right? I just want to keep doing a bunch of different things and complete them all and take them seriously. So yeah, it was, but it was hard work for sure.
And which game were you playing?
It was Final Assault, the one we all played, actually.
Yeah.
For the charity tournament. So it was kind of unfortunate for all you guys that you had. I'm sorry.
I didn't even make it even close enough to even be afraid of you, because Alex immediately just destroyed me.
Steven barely had his headset on.
Barely. I actually let my 6-year-old do it for me.
Well, thanks for. That's the
I
only
thought
one
she could beat you.
It's the only one I got. It makes me feel good. Well, like you said, dude, it seems to me like you're doing a pretty good job of making shit happen, dude. Because I put in our description that you're a YouTuber. You have what I would consider to be a successful YouTube channel. Your content's awesome. You don't have a problem expressing yourself naturally and authentically, which I really appreciate. And you are you've won the tournament Final Assault, check, that's off the list. And you are active in the Half-Life Alyx community and make custom levels for people who have Half-Life Alyx and who just couldn't get enough, which is like huge, dude.
Yeah, and I am a huge Half-Life fan. And that map you put together, the first map you did, which was Crash Course was, especially at that time, the best modded level that there was.
Yeah, it's the first one I tried.
Yeah, that was it's honestly, when I look back at that, so I had no level design knowledge or like any experience prior to like designing that map. That map was literally just me messing around in Hammer 2 one day, and then like slowly building off of that messing around to try to build concepts I've always liked in VR for the engine. And when I think back to it now, it's crazy that first of all I did all that, because it was a lot of freaking learning that I can't even tell you. Like, it was just I just can't understand how my brain actually allowed myself to stay interested, because for me it's hard to stay interested in anything, let alone learning a whole part of game development, sort of. But it was a lot of fun, and the sense of seeing your creation slowly be built. And it's one thing creating for, I think, a flat game, and another thing being able to create something and then immerse yourself in that 3D environment, which probably what kept me going. But yeah, I really enjoyed it for that 2 months. I was really getting into it for sure.
Well, and that's interesting too, because the creation aspect of it takes place on like a traditional flat screen, right? Like, you're just like on your computer, like building it, and then you put the headset on, and then it like all comes to life, you know? So I can imagine that experience would probably be pretty fulfilling. You're just like tinkering on the compuiter for a while, and then you throw the headset on, and bam, there you go.
Yeah,
like,
there's your creation, and you're in it.
Exactly. And when I was making that map, we had, we called it the makeshift tools. It was still the Source 2 tools, but we used actually, shout out to Gyarados in the chat. He's one of the people that built all the tools around that. But we basically used the Steam VR home tools, and we didn't know anything about how the new version of Source 2, which Half-Life Alyx is a much more different, like, kind of other weirdly stuff. So we didn't know how to do lighting correctly. We were constantly just doing all this trial and error. So it was more the fact that for the first week, it was more about like, hey, is this map even going to work when I load it into the actual Half-Life Alyx game? And then once we started figuring out lighting and started to make things like fog beautiful, like it just made my brain get addicted to it at that point. Yeah.
So do you spend time in the Half-Life Alyx like modding scene? Like, have you like gone through a bunch of these maps or anything? Because I certainly know that I have not done enough of these, and there's been a lot of people doing it.
I do. I judge contests for the Half-Life Alyx modding Discord, which they usually do contests every other month, and I judge all the maps that get through that. I mean, it's still active. New people are still picking up the modding and trying out new maps. I think the overall quality of the maps, to be honest, though, is not as good as when the first excitement when the tools came out. We're seeing a few really good maps, but I think it's just mostly people are just trying to figure stuff out constantly, and then people give up for whatever reason. But there's a few really good ones out there. Like I don't know if you played. There's one called Goon Squad that's freaking amazing. Definitely recommend that one.
I haven't played that one yet, but I'll tell you what, man, that's the awesome thing about people doing this type of thing, is it keeps the game alive, and there's always a new reason for me to go back there and get into it and to try new levels, and not to mention that it's fully haptic compatible, these games, and which means the mods are as well. Right. So you can go in, you got arms, vest, face, you got face huggers hitting your face.
It's so awesome.
Like, oh my god, man, it is the most immersive VR game, period, with haptics, with all these badass levels constantly coming out.
And I bet you there's a bunch of people, maybe even in our chat, that have not done any custom levels for Half-Life Alyx.
That'd be a damn shame.
Yeah, Brad, are they like, how badly are people missing out if they're not participating in any of that custom level stuff?
I mean, new maps are constantly coming out. There's a lot of good quality ones. Most people don't even realize, like you said, like I was watching a small streamer the other day who was playing Half-Life Alyx, and they had no idea that custom maps exist for the game. So like you're missing out a lot. Like Valve does amazing things, but I think the community are more interested in trying out what Valve doesn't do, like sort of like kind of stuff like Valve was too afraid to do this because they didn't want to steer people away from VR. But people want stuff like maybe like a jump or something, like just weird stuff like that, or just weird things in maps that Valve was too afraid to do because they were trying to be the first intro game to VR. So the communities kind of take it upon themselves to be like, hey, we're gonna try to include some more advanced mechanics for VR in our maps. So definitely check that out, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a recording of Skiva playing a Half-Life Alyx map. I don't remember which one, but he opens up a
like
fucking
a dumpster,
and there's a head crab in there that jumps out at him.
Oh man!
Mine.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That was yours, you son of a. Perfect. I'm not even kidding, dude. And like I had haptics and everything. I yelled, and I was sitting on my cyber chair stool, and it's kind of tall, and it has, the whole thing almost fell over. Like it was almost a huge disaster. Dude. Like I have never had my heart jump through my mouth in a video game like that.
It's the best clip ever. It's the best clip ever.
Bradley. Thank you so much. I'm just kidding. It was awesome.
I had so many people test that part because I kind of put it in a part where like it's kind of where the zone where you kind of just went through a lot of shooting and you're just kind of relaxing a bit. So your senses are lowered for sure. And then
they definitely rummaging around.
That was. I think that's the only time I've ever screamed on camera.
It's so good. I will find that clip. I will find that clip and share it because it is awesome. Yeah, I love that. It's so good. And honestly, dude, the custom maps, like for me, it's all about replayability, especially when it comes to stuff like haptics, right? Because that's a big investment for someone. So if someone picks up a vest and they want to play Half-Life Alyx with it, you play through Half-Life Alyx once. Are you really inclined to pick? It's like watching a TV series. Are you going to watch it from episode 1 again as soon as you finish it? Probably not. But the custom mapping, like that adds a level of freshness that like you could, once a week or twice a week go into Half-Life Alyx and do something different and get more use out of stuff like the haptics if you have it, or frankly a $60 game. Or
cyber shoes or anything. It doesn't matter. Like
it's just a great game for all that stuff.
It's an amazing fucking game, dude. It was one of the one of the highlights of my entire gaming life. Just like Half-Life 2 was back in the day. So I mean, hats off to Valve. Hats off to people who make awesome levels like you, Bradley. But definitely, guys, go out there and load up some of these maps. Yeah, load them up. They're awesome.
Yeah, Brad's got some good ones. So, Bradley, there's a question I like to ask people. I don't always ask them, but I would like to ask you about like your magic VR moment. Like we all have that like one moment where it was just like, like it just like blows your fucking mind. Like, are you willing to share that moment that you had when
I have
just
so many? I can tell you the most recent one I've been having. I just got into full body VR, and that stuff has taken over my brain, just like the mapping did, the esports stuff did. It is. I never understood it. It's one of those things that I think when you hear about it, like, because first of all, full body VR is not it's not supported by anything. So not many people pass it off because like, hey, it's pretty much a VR chat thing. And I never played VR chat very much. I always felt VR chat was a weird thing for me. But I finally got people to convince me to get into full body, and then literally a month ago, I got it working. And as soon as I started just moving my legs around and especially laying down and like moving your legs while laying down, my brain literally like felt like it exploded because it is such a weird sense. It is more presence I felt than I remember when I first tried Knuckles at Valve office way back when. I thought that was like a huge presence like booster. I remember my brain like turning on back then, but compared to full body, I think full body is actually more important than a lot of people think, and I'm very shocked that more games don't support it, because it is such a huge thing. It's obviously because it's expensive, but man,
Lack of support, like you
it's a
said.
mind blower. I swear, it's such a mind blower.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, dude. I haven't really done much like full body tracking stuff myself outside of like a demo or two at a convention or something like that.
Yeah.
But I recently did some VR chat where I was like, you know, at a nightclub or whatever, and there was people in there who were dancing with full body tracking on, and it was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like amazing. So someone had a pole in their room at home, like in their actual room, and they're swinging around this thing with full body tracking on, and it's like a super sensual, like burlesque-esque dancing in VR.
Are you saying it's
tracking.
weird to have a pole in your room?
No, I'm just I'm just trying to paint the picture of that being in the physical space, not in VR. So she actually, he or she or whatever they identify with, is swinging around this pole, and it was like captivating. Wow. I'm not even kidding, dude.
Wow.
Like captivating to watch people move in full body. Like it tracks it so well. It really is mind blowing. I can only imagine looking down and seeing my own legs moving like that.
It's pretty crazy.
It really is. Like I have been doing things. It sounds weird. I've been doing things with my body with full body tracking in VR chat that I never thought I would like. I never dance or anything, but when you get to choose whatever character from literally anything, and they're just, I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of avatars to choose from, and almost all of them support full body, and you just see yourself like just dancing or moving around or just doing ridiculous things. It just changes your mind about so many things, and it's crazy.
Or start to question if we are really here in this reality. Well, right?
And I'm sure it helps free you from some shackles that you might experience in the avatar that you were born in. Because if you think about it, we're just expressing ourselves through these things, whether it be the avatar that you choose or your fucking physical body. So it's like, why not enjoy looking at yourself in the mirror, the actual mirror, dancing like that? You know, like I'm sure that people, by having those kinds of experiences, will click that part of their brain open, and then they'll realize, oh, I can actually express myself for real, like in my physical body too, and this can be a behavior that translates. You know, this is a funny comparison, but Animal Crossing, believe it or not, got me to start looking at my walls and shit, because I was like so concerned about like making my Animal Crossing room look pretty and beautiful and like have the right things on the walls and stuff and the right furniture and everything like looks good. And then I like look at my actual room and I was like, why the fuck don't I have pictures up on the wall in here? You know, like I'm so concerned about doing it there. Like it was a behavior that I felt like that expression that was never something, that's not a way I used to express myself, to your point, Bradley. Like you never danced before, but you found expression by connecting through the technology. And that is, I think, one of the beautiful things about this is like people are going to start to open up in ways that they never saw possible.
Well, I've seen a lot of people online that have talked about how they are socially awkward. You know, they just don't have much experience in social situations. So when they go out, they have anxiety, and things like VR chat have really helped them to overcome that, because you know you go in and there's this sense of I'm gonna try this word, anonymity, anonymity, right? Where you're like, people don't know who I am, people can't see what I look like, therefore you kind of leave that behind, and you might act differently than you would in real life, right? But then when people start getting used to things in VR chat, it kind of then translates over to real world, and you know, some of this technology and some of these quote unquote games have like real life awesome implications that are real life things that really help people through different situations. So I think it's amazing.
I have a few of my people in the chat right now, and I'm sure they would all agree that ever since I started VR chat, I've become a very different person for sure. It really does help. I would describe myself as a very social, awkward person. So, and it's been helping me a ton. It's been also forcing me to learn Unity, because I've gotten so into it that I've been working on the avatar stuff with the VR chat SDK, and that's all in Unity, and I hate Unity, and I never wanted to touch it. But thanks to like my small addiction to VR chat, it's helped me not only overcome like my social anxieties in a way, but it's also helped me learn new skills in an engine I always thought was garbage. So yeah,
well, that's good.
Yeah, look at all the positives here, right? We got people learning how to do all these things that they would have never even had any desire to do before, just because it's fucking amazing in virtual reality.
and all because you look down and see your legs.
Right, you're like, whoa! Legs!
Whoa!
I know it sounds so silly, but it really. I remember people back then when the knuckles were starting to get popular, and I had the prototypes, and I was just doing videos showing off the fingers, and people didn't see what the big deal was. But then as more people started getting the knuckles in their hands, they had that like small wow moment, like, oh, I'm starting to get it now. It's like, I mean, it's even like that with VR. People would watch videos about VR on a screen and be like, I don't really understand why people are so excited about this. Then they put it on the first time. Every layer of VR, I would say, starts with first 60 OF, then finger tracking, and I think full body is the third level. Like every level makes the brain go wow. Just waiting for the BCI, man. I need that next.
I would almost say, yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, really, after brain control, I mean, how much more amazing can it get, right? But I mean, haptics, I think is one of the biggest things for me. Like when you can, especially playing like Half-Life Alyx, right? When you're playing it with haptics and then you go in without it, and there's this weird numbing feeling, like why don't I feel anything? Like I'm missing a sense of my body,
dude,
like
Population 1.
Oh, dude,
I have not. Dude. I have not played it without it since. Like, there is if you're unaware of this, folks, there is a fucking mod now for Haptics for Population 1, and it works. It's about to work for all the pieces, but right now it works for the face and the arms and the vest, and it is amazing. Like it works so well. It is so well implemented. Like when you're flying, you can feel wind, you feel recoil from the weapons, like, and you can feel directional impact from your enemy fire, and it is just like it's the way it's
just like anything it's supposed to be. Every piece of immersion that you tack on tricks your body that much more, to the point where you have haptics, you have a larger field of view, you have full body tracking, you have all these things, and eventually with all of them, I mean, when is the point where you kind of forget you're in a game? I mean, we're almost there already, and you know what I mean? Like,
dude, some people get there in 5 seconds. They put the headset on for the first time, and then they start running. Like, it's like it takes them 2 seconds to lose themselves.
But you get what's that word? Desensitized.
Yes.
Eventually with just the headset, and then you add haptics, and you're like, oh my god! And again, you know what I mean? It's every time until we get to the point where we're like, oh shit, there's
no difference.
What's the difference?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because like, and that's I guess that's kind of what I was getting at, right? It's like, it's interesting that like we put the headset on and look down at our legs and like really feel present, but like we take the headset off and we can't find that level of presence
in real life.
And just like wild. That like level of like moment of awe and wonder, like, oh, I'm here. You know, like that's like self-awareness.
When you were a baby,
it's like knocking on the door of self-awareness with VR. It's fucking mind blowing. It's crazy.
I actually just recently got the tax suit
Cody.
I just recently got it. I've been testing it out. It's interesting. I have to wonder if maybe with so I know that you work for Haptics, so I just want to I'm not pooping on them, but I want to make some comments about my experiences so far with haptics, because I actually got into haptics because I was so into full body, and people were telling me that, oh, haptics is amazing, and I was like, well, people have been telling me full body was amazing. I didn't believe them, so I finally invested in the vest here, and it is really cool for some games so far. Like I love it in Boneworks, especially. I like running into walls and feeling that for some reason.
Audio from someone.
What? Who lost audio?
They're muted in this screen. Oh, I think.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So no problem.
There it
Okay,
is.
there it is.
There it is. You can probably hear us maybe
Thanks,
now.
Thanks, folks.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so what the fuck were we just talking about?
We were talking about how Bradley was running into walls and Boneworks with.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, with haptics.
So I'm not. I had an haptic suit years ago, but that was back when it was only an audio only. It wasn't really a haptic suit designed for VR. So I was curious with Haptics. I was like, they have their own really neat software for actually implementing in games, and then all the mods that people have been making it. And then I got it, and so far it's been really interesting. The only thing that makes me wonder is when I wear the suit, is there are things that make me wonder if maybe having the arms first would be more interesting for me, like maybe the arm haptics more than the actual chest. Because the chest, I feel like all the things at least for what I play, all the haptics I'm getting on my chest are not as interesting as I would feel on my arms, for example, where I would hold a gun, and when I shoot a gun with just the chest, I only feel it on over here, and there's sort of a weird disconnect in my brain where I just feel like maybe if I had the arms instead, it would have been more interesting as an introductory piece to haptics for me, which is for me interesting because I feel like the vest seems like the big introductory product for the company right now, because I mean all the other stuff seems to be more still dev kit maybe.
It hasn't been positioned as a consumer product. You know, technically it is, you know, but like it's always been positioned as like a B2B product.
Right.
I see where you're. I think that for the right gamer, you are 100% right.
Yeah.
I think that one of the reasons why the vest is one of the most approachable things is it's the first thing people think of. Like when you think about haptics, you think about putting a vest on. B, it can translate things like recoil, and also still register like being struck or, you know, hit by a bullet or whatever. So it's a little bit more versatile in that way. Although feeling incoming fire on your arms, like when you like put your arms up, it's like hitting your arms. It actually is pretty fucking. It's actually kind of scary.
You know, I know exactly what Bradley's saying, because so the first part I got was the vest, right? And I would get hit. I'd be in Half-Life or whatever, and I'd be getting shot in the chest, and I'd feel it, and it would move up to my face, and the red's flashing there, but nothing's happening. And it caused, you know, at certain points, it caused maybe more of a disconnect than it did a connect.
Right.
But once
that's exactly what I'm feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but once I had the face and then the arms, like the, you know, when each part is connected, your brain starts to just start forgetting that it's not real. And then you start doing weird things like actually panicking a little when you get hit.
Right.
Or, you know, like I noticed I'll record something and I'll watch myself that when I get hit, I don't even notice I do it when I'm in the game, but I actually grab the part where I get hit.
Right.
Like I'm like, oh my, you know, oh no.
Right.
Oh,
and at the risk of sounding like I am trying to sell it, the combo really is. It really is where it's at. You know, like you need the combo, and like the arms aren't, in my opinion, a good introductory piece because, to be completely honest, they're not the most comfortable. In order to like use them competitively, like I put them and I wear them for Population 1. You have to do a lot of like overhead climbing and stuff, and it's fast. You know, I'll be like spinning my arm like this, climbing up a building, and that thing needs to be on. You know, so I have to like put that fucker down, and when I take it off, like the lines in my skin are there, like where the bar was, you know. So it is pretty tight, and it's not the most comfortable thing. Is it worth it for me? Absolutely. You know.
Yeah.
Well, you know, here's the other thing too, right? You could also say that motors, like you would have in haptic motors, like you would have in controllers that vibrate, or in your phone that vibrates, really isn't the right kind of haptic for your body when you're getting shot and things. You kind of would want something maybe that would fill an air pocket with air really quick and kind of give you an impact, right? Yeah. But we have a major thing here, which is cost, right? Because if a company comes out like Tesla suit, and they're like, oh yeah, we're working on this suit, it's $3,000. People go, well, that's awesome, but I don't have $3,000. So I hope, you know, I get to watch other people play with it. But when a company comes in and says, okay, well, we're gonna make this consumer friendly to a point where people can afford it, right? And that's a big deal. And then when you're actually in the game and you do get shot and you feel something, It almost doesn't matter what it is. The point is like it's being translated to your body in a different position than just your hands, right? And then all of a sudden you don't really think about it anymore. You don't think like, oh, that's weird that it's buzzing. Like you don't really, you think, oh, I just got shot and something happened on my chest.
It's just like controller haptics.
You know,
it's like,
totally.
It's like wearable controller haptics.
Yeah.
You know, and like Tesla suit and stuff like that is dope, but like it's not just something that you can just like throw on. Like I had to get fucking naked to put the Tesla suit on. I took all my clothes off at CES.
Wow.
Yeah. And they're like, here you go. We sprayed it down for you. And it's like moist in there. I'm like,
they used hot steam.
Dude, I put it on. It was freezing fucking cold. I was freezing. I was like, like shaking.
Now, excuse me while we electrocute you.
Yeah. And then they electrocuted me with it. And to be honest, it was not comfortable. Like Haptics is approachable, you know. So they're gonna be. I think they're gonna be it for a while when it comes to haptics.
We're definitely
proud to be a part of it.
The Atari 2600 phase of haptics.
100%.
But dude,
same with full body tracking too. These huge ass fucking pucks that you have to strap.
That are $150 a piece, right? It's not like $150 and you got full body tracking. It's $150 for one foot, $150 for another foot, $150 for your waist.
All right, here's a question.
You know, so,
I have two Vive controllers, right? So I know those can be used as trackers if you get weird. There's like something I have to buy. Oh, I tried to do it recently actually, and there's like
wireless
$50.
Dongle?
Yes, like some $50 bullshit dongle that I needed.
Yeah.
And I got pissed and gave up and switched my controllers back because I do use them for stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
But it might be worth it to turn those both into like my feet, right? And then like get one for my waist and like just get one tracker and have that work. Would you recommend that, or do you think I should just bite the bullet and just get
I know a lot of people that actually use old Vive controllers. Did you ever buy Steam controllers back then when they were out?
I have one.
like the pad. Yeah.
It has like a touchpad for a D-pad kind of.
I only asked that because you can actually hack the little dongle that comes with those controllers to become a wireless dongle for the
there
Vive
you go.
controller.
You have one of those.
I do have one of those.
You do have one of
because Skiva gave me one as a gift one day.
You can use that. It's very easy. You gotta look up the instructions, but it's just one line of code that you run in a command prompt, and it just completely does it for you. But I mean, even if you just use your Vive controllers to try it out, I know people that do it full time and they're fine with it. I think it's just a really cool thing that people should try at least once somehow. You can even like it's annoying. But if you have like an index or something with a USB port, get like a hub, plug that into the USB port, and then plug each controller on your chest and your 2 feet. Have a bunch of wires connecting to the hub, and then you can just try it out without to buy anything at that point. But
and somebody walks in on you and questions your existence. They're like, "What the fuck?"
Lawnmower man over here.
For sure, but. I just feel more people should be able to try, like, even if they're not a fan of VR chat, because like I said, I didn't touch VR chat at all, like ever.
Before you invested,
changed my opinion.
Before you invested in those pucks, did you by chance try like the Xbox Connect version of full body tracking or anything like that?
I didn't. I just
seems so
I went
janky,
for it.
dude.
I was like,
well, you have to be facing,
like, people are been telling me for years to do this. I'm just gonna I'm buying them from Amazon, so if I don't like them, I'm just return them. So yeah, I just tried it out and I didn't return them. Far from that. So
damn it, dude. I'm jelly, honestly, and I know E4P did the same thing recently. So and he's been going down the rabbit hole, and it's like I feel like it's time.
Well,
like
what else supports full body? So Blade and Sorcery does, right?
Yeah.
So that would be cool to actually kick the dudes and have them.
Yeah.
Like actually, it'd be cool to have some haptics on the bottom of your feet at that point.
Do that. I have the haptic foot things. You can put trackers on them and kick people.
Oh yeah.
So here's another thing I learned. Yeah, it's pretty much the main games are VR chat and Blade and Sorcery. Like everything else is like from a few years ago. But what people don't realize, and I realized this because I was shocked, is VR chat it's becoming very quickly, because they introduced something called Udon, which is their like own sort of like programming language. It's starting to become like VR Gary's mod, like completely. There are literal game modes designed for full body tracking that you can play. It's more like just a bunch of mini games and just tons of free content. So even though like VR chat has this stigma that it's just this weird meme machine play. Like everyone remembers VR chat as when 2017 it got popular because all the Ugandan knuckles garbage and all that stuff. But there's actually a ton of playable content that isn't just sitting around with people in a bar somewhere, virtual bar. There's like tons of games you can play, and I've been like finding so many interesting things. I did a video last week of showcasing a few worlds where there's a full playable drum kit, a full playable guitar that you can like strum and everything accurately. And I mean, wow. There's so much. I'm coming from someone that just, like I said, I didn't know anything about VR chat, and I'm learning so much about it. It's just crazy how much content, how much has changed.
Designed some Zelda Breath of the Wild stuff in there.
Yeah. I need to go see that, dude.
Yeah,
that looks amazing. Incredible.
It does look incredible. It does.
It is really good. It is very well done.
It's really blowing my mind what people are really coming up with in there, man. Like, I mean, even just the Among Us thing that they did in VR chat, right? Like, that was fun. A blast playing that with everyone. So many of the people in the chat here we played with in that, and dude, that was a blast. It was an absolute blast. Loved it. So VR chat is definitely awesome. You know, the disconnect for a lot of people, I think, is some people have just the Quest and the Quest 2, and some people, you know, are in the PC stuff, and there's so much you can't do on the Quest version of VR chat. But, you know.
Yeah, I think people are turned off too about by the apparent like blanket interest of these communities, right? Like the VR chat community often seems to have an interest like at large in like anime imagery and stuff like that, you know. There's also Neo's VR, which has a huge furry community, and they're all like so welcoming and awesome in there, but it's also a huge furry community. Like it just attracts a lot of people that have similar interests, and people I think are turned off by that. You know, people who are not members of those communities, you know. But it's interesting. Like I wonder like how and why that happens, you know, like why is it that, you know, VR chat like fostered such a strong and has such a strong presence for specific interests when ultimately I don't think it was necessarily tailored to be that way, right? Like it wasn't made for anime fans or whatever it is that I'm trying to express right now, you know, but yet it seems to be that it's associated with that.
Yeah.
I know Japan loves VR chat. They are constantly creating some of the best content for VR chat. I imagine that is why a lot of once Japan got their hands on this this SDK, I'm sure they were spitting out a ton of anime avatars because that's their culture. And that probably attracted all the weebs from all over the world to start doing stuff there. But even myself, I will say my main avatar is an anime girl made from a Japanese creator that I bought. I bought the avatar, and I just been putting clothes on it and all this. Like I've been finding clothes and designing it and tailoring it to the way I like. And everywhere you go, like you said, it is a lot of anime. There's a lot of furries. There's a lot of just weird stuff. But there are people that don't do those things. I think the best way to handle VR chat in general is to find a friend that that might at least. For me, I guess I'm kind of lucky because I had a lot of friends that were already into VR chat, and some of them were not any of those stigmas that we're talking about with the furry and avatars or anime stuff. And that helped me kind of break my way into it. And once those friends who have been frequenting VR chat for years almost has been showing me all the better worlds and all the weird good content that is out there, that helped me a lot to kind of get over this weird stigma because I was never a huge like a mega anime fan, but here I am dressing up as this anime girl constantly.
Right. Well, I think the problem is that people often want to like define a game by its community, right? Yeah. Like you'd be like, dude, I'm not a Call of Duty player. Okay. You know, but it's like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, if you were to take 10 of your friends and do custom matches in Call of Duty, you guys would have the best fucking time ever. Like a LAN party style thing. You know what I mean? So it's like, I've personally never been turned off by like the overarching like view of a community for a game, because oftentimes I use those games very, very selfishly. It's rare that I go into them like looking for a community. I take people that I know with me into those things. You know, it's like if I'm going into VR chat, it's typically to meet somebody. You know, and while we're in there, we explore the worlds together, and holy crap, there's some fucking amazing stuff. You know, I have also met people too and participated in the energy that is VR chat, and I think it's great. You know, I think it's awesome, but I'm not a VR chat user in that way. Maybe I will be once I get full body tracking.
Yeah. You know, how can you put something down that encourages people to get together, to share their passions together, have a safe environment to hang out. There's no, you know, you don't have to worry about social distancing. There's no way to catch anything yet.
Well, and I want to be clear. I don't think anyone's putting it down as much as they are being deterred by it. Yeah. Like they like, you know, they have no problem with it, but they think because they're not a weeb, they won't enjoy VR chat.
Yeah. It's so big. It's just like one part of a world, you know what I mean? VR chat is its own world, and if you don't like one country's culture, you go to another one. There's so much to explore, and there's so much to do.
That's just like the most expressive and vocal community that uses that platform for their own self.
And you can bring flat friends in with you. If you really want to.
And that's a cool thing too, but why?
You know?
Like,
I don't know why, but people do it. You know those friends that are like, flat is everything, and I never want to be immersed in the game ever. So I'm going to do everything flat.
Well,
so you know, fine, flat it in.
Let's play Rocket League.
Right.
I mean, there's also special events happening all the time in VR chat now. Like, someone, D1360 in the chat, they talked about the New Year celebration. They had the ball drop in every time zone, so people could all gather together in New York Square and just hang out for the ball drop. We had Virtual Market 5 happening right now, which is just a ginormous. It's a human, like 1,600 booths of just a bunch of creators making stuff for VR chat, or maybe not even VR chat, but other.
We got to get in there because we're
modeling.
We're looking for avatars. We got to get in there and do that.
I mean, they got. I mean, they don't just sell like avatars. They're trying to sell stuff like even clothes for your avatars. You can buy, like, you just buy these Unity packages and you place them on your avatar. Like, people really get into this stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's redefining yourself in a digital world. This is a different existence, and you get to go in there and create yourself exactly how you want yourself. What an amazing thing!
And straight up,
2021, right?
And straight up, VR chat's the most popular, but it ain't just VR chat.
Right.
Like, all of these social platforms are pushing the boundaries, and I've been spending time in a few others. I've been in Neos VR, I've been in Chill Out VR, and I've been in Altspace VR quite a bit. At least for Neos and Altspace, I've dipped my toe in Chill Out, and they all offer something completely different, and they are all pushing the boundaries, dude. Like, Neos, especially, in my personal opinion, is the most exciting. The stuff that they are doing in there is fucking crazy, man. Like, the avatars in there have like powers and abilities. Like, you can have an avatar that can shoot water. It could be made of like, there's this beautiful freaking avatar in there. And her name is escaping me. I'm so sorry. But her avatar is made out of water, and she's like fluid and has a fucking goldfish swimming around inside of her. And she can splash people with water. She can turn her arm into an icicle. She has all kinds of fucking special powers.
It's so cool.
And they are spawning items in there that are like fully engageable. Like, you load them with ammo, you cock them, you blast them. That has an effect. And you can tie anything to anything. You can add this sound clip to that thing. You can add haptics to this or that. Like, it is so awesome. Like, all of these companies, VR Chat, Altspace, Chill Out, Neos VR, and the like.
Somnium
Space is another good one.
Rec Room, you could say.
Yep, even Rec Room a little bit. They're not so much, though. The other ones are like the way that you're able to pull stuff in. Yeah. It's crazy. And together, they're all building the metaverse. And I wouldn't be surprised if one day, like, there's like a common thread that loops
like one API that everyone just kind of connects
like
to,
everything like starts to like mesh together and start to blend a little bit, because they're all doing the same kind of thing. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's really exciting.
They're offering another world, another place to be, another place to exist and to meet people, and you know.
It's very, very exciting.
Yeah, it's super cool, man. And speaking of flat friends being able to get into this stuff with you, what was it like for you, Bradley, going from primarily flat content and stuff, and then being like, whoa, VR all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause
well, I've been doing VR on YouTube for about 5 years now, and I actually didn't really do that much in YouTube, to be honest. I just kind of I wasn't really trying to make a YouTube channel out of anything, but I got the Vive early because I won a contest with Valve and IGN, and I got to go over to what was called the Steam VR. Yeah. So there was a contest going on where you had to submit what you think would be a good idea for a VR game, and I don't remember why I submitted something stupid, but it won. And basically the prize was you get to go to this press event called the Steam VR Developer Showcase, where Valve set up this event for media, mostly just press and media, right before the Vive came out, and they wanted to show off 20 experiences made by indie developers. This is when Hover Junkers was shown, games like Selfie Tennis, I believe Dangerous, even Job Simulator was there. Like, nice. It was just all the early OG stuff, and that was the first time I tried VR, was at this Valve event, and the first game I ever tried was Hover Junkers. And
stress level zero.
I remember when I told the Hover Junkers people that they were my first VR experience, they got so excited, like stress level zero. They were so excited. They were asking me all these questions because most of the people that they would have try out the game were not new to VR, or at least had some experience in VR. But it changed. I was not as belligerent against VR because I'll be honest, when Valve announced that they were getting to VR, that's when it really got my attention. I was not really caring about Kickstarter, Oculus Rift back then. I was a little, I still am. I'm just not a Kickstarter person. So but when Valve started getting in, I was like, oh man, VR must be going somewhere. But once I started, when I came home, they sent me a Vive Pre, which is like the final consumer kit for the Vive, and I was just showing off gameplay of VR games, and people really liked my gameplay. And it was actually hard to deal with how fast the channel grew back then. It was like I woke up and I remember I had like 10K more subscribers the next day than before I went to bed and stuff. So like it was insane. It was insane. And like it was almost unhealthy, I think. I think growing that fast from not really planning a YouTube channel to just growing that big instantly is just kind of crazy for someone's mind like me, because like some people they plan like how things will go when they start a YouTube channel, like, oh, I want this content, I want this content. Me, it was like, oh, well, I have a fan base all of a sudden, what the crap do I do? And they're all like commenting all these things about what they like and didn't like about the video. I'm like, oh my, what's going on with my life? And
wow,
it's just been a crazy adventure. Like, and I'm so glad all this happened, because that just me getting that original Vive allowed me to do so many things. Like the first big thing was I got into mixed reality really early. Mixed reality was like super cool to me, so I was like one of the first people to start doing mixed reality videos, because that was before Live, and it was like a super annoying, complex thing to get going on. So I was able to start doing that, and then other YouTube channels like Dude Perfect flew me in to help them with their mixed reality video and stuff. And just like all these opportunities just kept lining up for me, just because I just was posting gameplay videos and learning all these new things. And it just brought me to now where, like I said, the checklist thing, like I got to do mixed reality stuff. I got to do VR esports stuff. I got to make maps for Valve's biggest VR game ever, and they became some of the most popular maps. And now I'm like getting into Unity with VR chat. It's just been crazy how. Isn't
it terrible being good at everything?
Yeah. Dude, I know that feel, man.
Yeah, you and Alex gotta hang out.
This is probably why people think, like, man, I've just started rebooting because I took like a 2-year break from YouTube. Because like I said, it was too much for me at one point. Like I could not take all these voices in my brain, all these YouTube comments, like picking apart everything I did. So I took a 2-year break and just kind of just did stuff without worrying about YouTube, and that was a great time. But now I'm in a more mentally healthy place to deal with this. And now that I've come back, people are like, well, who is this guy? He thinks he knows everything about VR. And it's mostly people that are new to VR that are confused by my opinions who's been around for a long time. And people always think I come off as very full of myself, I guess. And yeah, it's just like a weird thing, a weird
fuck them.
Weird thing. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know that people really
go fuck
funny,
yourself. Go subscribe to somebody else.
Said that, it just reminds. It's so strange because I when I'm telling. I think people don't understand when a YouTuber that is making videos for people, they're not doing it to put people down. They're doing it because they're trying to make stuff for people and help them learn. But it's unfortunate that that I may come off like that, or some people see that.
It's crazy, right? People all of a sudden, so you just do what you love and you point a camera at you, right? And then all of a sudden there's all these people that think they know everything about you, and they want to put you down, or they want to bring you up, or they want to just tell, you know what I mean? It's a weird thing to have all those people think that they need to change you, and they need to change your product, and they need to like tell you what's wrong with you. You know what I mean? Like, everyone, tell me what's wrong with me. That's fucking up. You know what I mean? Like, it's a weird thing. Like, who are you people, and why do you need to tell? You know what I mean? It's like, what? So it's a weird thing, right? And I can imagine accidentally, you blow up because you're on this new thing, and and then all of a sudden you get all these people yelling about all this different stuff. It's got to be a hard thing to freaking deal with.
It's going crazy, going insane. But I'm also glad it happened because all the people I hang out with in VR now, I talk to every day, are all the some of my earliest people that I just started watching my videos, and nice. I'm very glad for that side of things. I met some just fantastic people that I just constantly hang out with all the time in VR, and that part of it, I'm very happy.
You've had a similar bump, right, with the Quest 2 coming out. I saw your most recent video, and you said you gained 10,000 subs or something like that as a result of the Quest coming out.
Damn.
I mean, the views on my channel have shot up since the Quest 2, since Christmas. Frankly, it's not since the Quest 2, but since Christmas. Christmas,
since people have been getting the Quest 2.
Exactly, sure. And my views shot up, and I don't even post to my channel, So, have you noticed a shift in the state of VR as a result of the Quest 2? Do you have because I have estranged aunts and shit sending me messages on Facebook now because they have a Quest and they're falling in love with it.
Well, I can't say anything about personal people because people just know I've been in everyone close to me I've been trying to get them to buy VR for years. So there's nothing new now. But relating to your question about the huge view jumps that the Quest gives YouTubers, it's very unfortunate for me because I don't really like to do Quest content at all. I don't really like to do anything standalone. I get why. I mean, it's the Quest 2 is a great product for people that can't afford a gaming PC. I get that. But it's come to the point where if I say that the Valve Index is better in one way, people that got a Quest 2, they feel attacked or something. But I don't really like that the Quest 2 is kind of only the content I feel that you can really easily get used for. I really wish there's so much good PC VR content relating to Index, the full body stuff. Again, I want to keep shilling as much as I can because it's so interesting. But it's something that Quest 2 users, it's impossible to get into. So they're not looking stuff up. They're looking up what's the next standalone game or what's the next Oculus Studios game. And for me, that doesn't have much merit for me because I don't really. I have the Quest 2, but I don't really play it much.
Yeah,
really.
you're way down the line, dude, and you're not. And I guess to like, I don't know. I think what the theme here is that you're not exactly a YouTuber for a brand new VR user or a brand new Quest 2 owner. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of people who are just now learning VR. Like they just got it for Christmas. They've never used it before, and they're not going to be to SadlyItsBradley level for like 4 years.
But that Quest 2 is the gateway drug that makes them oh my God,
I agree with that.
If I can get into this, and this is all built in here, imagine what PC VR is like. Imagine what a Valve Index is like. Like it is definitely a gateway drug, and I feel like I know I got out of PC gaming and went to console gaming, and so I didn't have a PC when the Rift first came out, and so I had to resave, buy a new PC, and you're like, all right, I'm going to play VR here. I'm not going to play some flat games. Like this has to be a damn good system. Has to be able to create another world all around me, track my head, track my hands. So like, you're like, man, so, you save up and you invest in, I mean, it is what it is. But the Quest is a great gateway drug. Unfortunately, it comes with all the turds that is Facebook. And it wasn't supposed to be like that. It wasn't supposed to be like that, and we were promised it wouldn't be. But that's what happened, and it's unfortunate. And I'm glad the governments are now suing the shit out of Facebook, and I'm glad the states, 42 out of 50 states, as of right now, are suing Facebook. Break up Facebook. But like.
And I made a video about that too. It was actually one of my more popular videos since I rebooted the channel. It was just talking about the Facebook stuff, and a lot of people liked it, which it restored my faith in humanity a little bit when a lot of people agreed with me. But there were people that didn't understand why this Facebook VR login thing was a problem. And it's because there's so many new people that have not been following VR and don't know about the promises that were made years ago. And don't realize how sensitive VR data really can be compared to even traditional data that you can get from a computer. Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, and people don't truly know what they're signing up for with Facebook's terms of service. They don't know what is really happening. They don't know that you can be identified by the way you move within seconds. It's insane. And we're talking about, some jackass can buy Facebook tomorrow. They legally have to sell if it's enough money, right? So and then they have all of that data. They have the artificial intelligence stuff. It's just crazy. And there's also a lot of people out there that like to really argue with me on Twitter, right? And they're like, well, why do I have to be an activist? Well, you don't. But you know what? Like when you walk by people and people are getting beat and kicked over there, you can walk by and not say anything, or you can use your voice to be like, no, you know what? That's wrong. That's wrong. I like these games and I am torn here, but that is wrong, because the voice of the people will always be able to change anything. So anyway, start waving a flag here.
Right? Well, and like this conversation always gets to the point where we talk about competition, and CES is right around the corner, bro. So there's already been one thing that has kind of leaked out.
Yeah, and I didn't get a chance to make that work, but I can try to while we talk.
That's cool. So I saw an article today talking about a standalone Nolo headset.
Oh yeah, and we couldn't find it after we looked.
After we looked. Unbelievable.
Again. I know. But it's not. But there is the Nolo thing. But there's also talk now of HTC announcing that something big is coming, and everyone thinks, we all know what happened with the Cosmos, right?
Hey, hold on. I want to hear. So first of all, what about Nolo? And then second of all, what about HTC? Yeah. Because I want to know what those exasperated sounds represent.
So Nolo, for people that, I'm assuming people don't know, but Nolo was just like originally started as a weird attachment for smartphone VR, which I've always loathed smartphone VR. I never saw it as a gateway drug compared to any cheap 6DO web. I always saw it as a deterrent to VR because I always felt that if people try smartphone VR, they're gonna be like,
I agree 100%. People always be like, oh, I tried VR and it was this map. It's like, no, then you didn't try VR. What did you put your phone on your face? That's not VR.
Yeah, and people didn't realize that. And I made 2 years ago I think it was May 2019 Christmas. I made a video saying Oculus Go ruins Christmas because I basically warned a ton of people that the Oculus Go is going to be a dead product. It is even though it's on sale. I told people that Oculus was probably just trying to get rid of all the stock they had.
Yep.
And 3DOF is just not what you want to start VR with. Right. That's why.
They're
that's
like,
why
here,
I said,
you take this shit. We can't sell it. Here, you take it. We got better stuff coming out.
And a lot of people hated me for that video. It got a lot of views, but a lot of people did not like it. But I'm going to be smug here because literally we're a year later and like half of the services that were available for that device are dead because Facebook closed them down. So any of the value that people got from it it's just getting even worse than when I thought when I made the video. Yeah. And we have a Quest 2 that's $300, which was only $100 more than when the Oculus Go first came out. So I feel bad for the people that first got the Oculus Go at retail. And well, anyway, Quest 2 is great gateway drug. Oculus Go is garbage. Anyway, back to the Nolo thing. Nolo again was an attachment to try to make smartphone VR kind of 6DOF. They had this weird thing you attach to your head, and just these weird, like worse than PS Move controller things. And I had a person, and the reason why I grunt is because I had a person in my audience that I'm still friends with today, and they ordered one way back in the Vive days, and before they asked me my opinion on it, and when they asked, and they first of all, it took them like they kept waiting on it to ship. It like took a few months because it was ordered from China, and every time he'd bring it up, I'll be like, ooh, this does not look good. But I didn't want to ruin his dreams. I didn't want to ruin his VR dream because this was the only way he was going to get into VR. But as soon as he got it, he's like, this is the worst thing I've ever done in VR. Like it made the person question VR. Like that's what I'm trying to say. It made people question VR. So when I hear Nolo is now getting into like actual real 6DOF VR, it's not that I hate Nolo. It's just I'm shocked that they've come to this point. Like it's just crazy to me when I think of Nolo. I think of that back then.
So I gotta say this before we go to HTC, because at CES last year, Nolo was there, and what they were showing off was these VR glasses, which were like sunglasses.
By Hawaii.
The Hawaii.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that? Yeah, it was Hawaii. Hawaii was there, and they had VR glasses, and then they had the Nolo attachment for their VR glasses. And
to make it 6DOF.
To make it 6DOF.
Oh my God.
And I played Beat Saber Expert Plus with that setup, and it actually was pretty fucking good. I'm not gonna lie.
But just like
wow, that's crazy.
It wasn't like playing it on my PC at home, right? Like obviously there was gonna be some setbacks there, but it worked, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy shit, these are glasses. They're 6DOF, and it can run anything on Steam. And I played Beat Saber, and I was hitting blocks, dude.
And those controllers are decent for Beat Saber. It's just like the PSVR Move controllers, right? They're wands with balls. They don't have thumbsticks. You go and you try to play a real game on that, and it's gonna suck.
I just want to say,
not that Beat Saber isn't a real game, but you know what I'm saying.
I know Nolo gets trashed often. I was impressed by it. I wasn't gonna buy it and replace my headset, but I was impressed.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you brought that story up, because my next story about HTC is kind of related to, well, I can kind of connect your story in a way. So I'm very belligerent to HTC because back when it was Oculus Connect 6 or whatever, they invited me to go try out the Cosmos in their office. Ooh. And this was way back before anyone tried it. They pretty much invited like all the big YouTubers like Nathan and stuff to all come that weekend to try out the Cosmos. And when I tried it, everything worked fantastic. Like it was like I made a video even saying, okay, this is my first impressions of the Vive Cosmos. It works great. It seems like might be a great competitor. However, what I didn't know is they pretty much set a room in their office that was basically totally impossible for the Cosmos to fail in, because once they didn't send out the actual Cosmos to people's YouTubers' homes until the day it came out.
Controlled environment. Yep.
A controlled environment. So when we finally all got them at home, all the YouTubers, we realized, what is this? What happened? But we already made all of our first impressions videos. So basically HTC screwed us and made us look like we're lying. Like we've been telling all these people, yeah, you can actually keep an eye on this product. This seems like a really good product for the price, or blah, 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 blah. And it's going to be upgradable to Steam VR if you're interested in that. It seemed like a good thing. But HTC kind of scammed us in a way. And so every time I hear about HTC and their failures and all this stuff and them coming out with a new headset, I grunt a little bit, because I always think back to that time, because they ruined the trust of some people that followed me, and they ruined my trust with them. So I don't know.
HTC is known for just being unethical and for being dishonest.
Smoking mirrors.
Yeah, for sure. So, and I think that's why Valve cut ties with them and made their own headset, because I think, I would imagine they were not happy with the way Vive was treating customers. They were doing some really unethical things. You would send your headset to them, and they would say, okay, well, it's going to be like almost the cost of a new headset to get it fixed. Or if you want this back, we're going to charge you $60 to get your headset back. And they were holding people's headsets hostages, and they were they did some really shady shit. And further down the line, you look with the Cosmos, they got their karma back, and they have their company is failing. And I hope they understand now that the way to success is to support their product and not shit on their consumers and the people that are buying the products, right? And they've just done a lot of bad things. And I want to see someone come out and challenge Facebook, because I don't like their ways. I don't like and it would be a bummer, sure, if it were another unethical company, right? But we look at HTC, and they have a full software infrastructure that could support a competitor to a Quest, right? They already have Viveport and Viveport Infinity, and they have the Netflix of VR.
I think that's the hard part.
That's the hard part. So they have that, and they've been working on that. So they are probably the most viable competitor right now. We look at Nolo. Anyone could put out a 6-stop headset, but if you don't have any titles on your store, right? What are you going to do? Pico has one, but they won't really sell to consumers really anyway. It's hard to get a Pico headset. But even if you do, who's going to buy it? Because there's no games on the store. That's what Oculus has. That's what Steam has, right? You need games, or it's just a paperweight.
Come on,
6-stop
Sony.
paperweight.
Where's Sony at?
Yeah.
Sony needs to fucking show up. I think it's Sony.
I don't know. I think HTC is going to come out swinging again, because they replaced their management and they saw what happened with the Quest, and they have the Focus, which is an uncomfortable headset that I don't like. But if they can kind of reverse engineer the Quest, make it as cheap, give an alternative to, at least for people that don't want to have to deal with the Facebook infrastructure and Zuckerfuck's dealings, you know what I mean? Then at least that's a good thing. And other companies are coming. Everyone's seeing this success. Everyone's seeing that you can't get a Quest, and it's hard, and developers are finally starting to make money. And it is the gateway that will trickle people into PC VR. But I mean, we just have to have some competition.
Well, I love my Vive Pro. I want to go on record and say I have
it's a great
Pro
headset.
And I love it. Yeah. I also didn't buy it. Like, if I was going to spend my own money, it probably wouldn't have been on a Vive Pro. And honestly, if it was today, after looking at everything, I still think I would pick up a Quest, dude. I think I'd buy a Quest before I bought an Index.
Yeah, and I use my Quest a lot. Yeah. I have an Index, and I have a sick PC, and I still use my Quest a lot. And granted, a lot of it is doing virtual desktop to play PC games, but the Quest looks great. It looks really, really good.
And with VR cover, it's really comfortable.
Yes, I mean, it is. And the Elite strap.
Money. Yeah, you got to spend extra.
That I am now, I have 2 broken battery Elite straps now.
Oh wow!
They 2 times it broke, and it's like you got to send it back. You got to wear that piece of garbage elastic band that you strap it to your face. But and I don't want to support the Quest. I don't want to support the morals of Facebook.
I know, it hurts.
I just don't.
Hurts.
It really does. We're in this really bad place, right? We're like, get this because you'll get into VR cheap, but you're going to sell your soul to do it. You're going to give these people information that is illegal for them to acquire, yet they're acquiring it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just it's a crazy place to be. It's a bummer.
And it's even worse if you're a YouTuber, because, like I said, it's hard to make content that isn't Quest related right now, because of just the analytics and the algorithm right now. It's just very hard. So not only does it hurt for people that don't like Facebook, that are YouTubers, they have to kind of swallow the pill and not only just play the content on themselves, but also try to push the content to other people. And
Well,
it's just
it comes down to what's important to them.
Yeah,
What's important to
yeah.
you? Is it getting views or not? How badly do you want the fucking views for your stupid channel?
Yeah.
Getting
yeah.
dinner on the table for some people.
That's true, especially because
done years of VR YouTubing. Like they don't have a
Straight
choice.
up.
A lot of them.
Yeah, that's
Straight
a bummer.
up, that's true. They've put all their eggs in that basket, and I don't blame them. I would do the same thing if I was pulling in that kind of money, dude. Like crazy. I can only imagine what some of these YouTuber dudes are making on the regular, bro.
Well, not a lot of the VR ones because VR is still so small, but it's up and coming. You know what I mean? But people that have millions of followers doing anything, you know, I'm sure, you know, do well.
If it's making enough to like pay all of your bills and like help you live comfortably, I think that's huge, bro. Because like now, like your life is in your hands. Like
absolutely, but you should never, in my opinion, you should never put yourself in a position where you have to promote things that you feel are wrong,
right?
Because that's how you're going to eat,
right?
You know what I mean?
Well, that's tricky. It's
a tricky thing. It's a tough thing. It is. You know, but like for me, I don't think I'll ever do a show, talk about Quest and not talk about how fucked up Facebook is.
Right.
Unless they change. Like the two to me have to go together. If someone is going to buy a Quest because I said it was good, they have to know that I also said that they're going to get in bed with the devil to do it. Exactly.
So, I agree.
Yeah.
So what do you tell people? You know, what's the advice? You know, if somebody walks up to you and they're like, yo, dude, like, I want VR. The advice is this. It's hey, it's the Quest, but.
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
So here, try my Quest. If it blows your mind, maybe consider starting to save up for a PC. Or, you know, if you're on Facebook already, I guess you're already screwed. You're already kind of screwed. But you make that decision for yourself and know that there is an alternative. Right. Yeah. There is an alternative. It's more expensive, but you see the very bottom baseline of what 6DoF VR is. And so you can imagine what PC VR will do for you, right? If you're really into it and you don't want to sell your soul, just save up a little longer. Go a little bit longer without it and just save up and do your morals right. So, I don't know.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
That won't happen.
Well, for a lot of people, it won't, because a lot of people are like, wait, do you mean I can't have Facebook on my phone then? Oh, that's fine. Then they can just have me. They can own me. They can own my likeness. They can own my data. They can own all of me. And that's okay because this is convenient.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and that's okay. There's a certain type of person, then fine, buy Quest.
Right.
I don't have did Facebook the same on my phone spiel that you're talking about with someone that was asking me. They felt they were finally ready to invest in VR. So they asked me, what are the solutions? I basically told them all of them, and I went through the whole spiel you basically just did. And they were a person that said, "Oh, Facebook, never mind. I'll just wait a year. I'll wait a year or two, see what happens." But
sure,
I mean, it's just
competition is
the way
coming.
It is right now.
You'll never have a product that successful and have no competition on the way. It wouldn't make any sense. There's always someone that wants to make that money, someone that's passionate about that kind of technology. And, competition is coming.
I'm starting to see a couple of like social networks pop up. You know, a couple like, hey, I'm on Clubhouse or whatever. You know, like a couple of invite only things, which is like how all these always start. Yeah. You know, they always start invite only. And like, you know, you have to have like the special email or whatever, and then like it's like it like opens up and everybody starts once everybody wants in, you know. Yeah. So we might even see, you know, the new version of social media. Hopefully,
there's stuff out there, right? There's stuff out there, but any change will always be fought by the public, right? Everyone's already on Facebook, but my Aunt Helen is on Facebook, and I have to communicate with her. And if I switch this other social media thing, no one's on there. So what's the point? And they do have a point. Social media, if it's not social, what is it? It's nothing. It's garbage, right? And Facebook had it out of the gate, and they did it smart. If you remember the beginning of Facebook, there was no advertising. Everything was advertising free, and anytime anyone asked, Zuckerberg would say it's not ready yet. I haven't perfected it yet. And once there was enough people roped in, you got hit with the advertising. It was very systematic with that guy. That guy could be the ultimate supervillain of any. He really, I mean, he has what it takes to be a supervillain. So, you know, so now he's got everyone roped in, and he's got everyone's grandmas on there. And what do? hey, grandma, let me walk you through a whole new social media platform that you have to sign up for. You got to learn. I know you learned all that other stuff, but this is bad. You know what I mean? He's got people by the balls, and he knows it. And so it's going to take a couple generations maybe to go by, or another generation to die off, and more people grow up in computer land. You know what I mean? And then they're like, oh, it's easy to switch over, and then they lose all their power. It will happen. It's just it's going to take a little time. Because resistance is, people resist change.
I'm interested to see, because, dude, the digital landscape is evolving in an exponential rate, man. Like, things are changing quickly. So who knows, dude? We might see a breakthrough in the next couple of years. I see people talking about the next couple of years being pivotal, and I can see maybe, once something new happens, the internet 2.0 comes out or whatever.
So with the video gaming industry in general, Atari came out and it got huge. It exploded really, really big. And then they had a flawed business system. They had a flawed business plan, and it killed them, and it destroyed the video game industry in the United States. But what happened? Nintendo came out, and we're still waiting on the Nintendo of VR, not Nintendo themselves, but a company's going to come out that's going to just shit all over anything Facebook, and then people will move away from it. It's inevitable. I just hope they don't get, as much data as they really need before that happens. So I don't know. I'm just going to keep telling people, man, because knowledge is power. Anyway, what do you think? We'll be ready
when the Clone Wars start.
Yes.
I'll have my training.
Yeah. Yeah, Alex has got some sick saber holders here.
Look at this thing, dude. It's CNC'd out of aluminum. I mean, I had somebody send this to me. What is it? I think it's called Deadeye VR on Instagram, if I'm saying that right. CNC'd Beat Saber handles that look like lightsabers.
They got weight to them, too.
They're fucking heavy.
Yeah.
I don't know how good this will be in Beat Saber, but Skiva was saying before the show that I should try it in the dojo of Vader Immortal.
Yeah.
It looks pretty perfect for this.
Yeah. It's good shit, man. It'll be a fun day when we can lightsaber battle each other in VR.
I mean, VR is already mind-blowing for me, man. And the multiplayer interactions that we're already doing are crazy. I did like some VRC, or was it VFC, Virtual Fighting Championship, yesterday to make a video, and it's awesome. I love it.
Really?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's very much like Creed or any of the other fighting games or whatever. But
but you would think with that you'd have to get down on the floor and pin people and you know what I mean? Wrap your leg around their neck. We need some full body tracking for that, I think.
So Brad, VR chat. That's been it, huh? Have you been doing Pop 1? You've been playing anything else, or are you just down the rabbit hole right now?
I am in the rabbit hole right now for VR chat. Like I said, it's forced me to get into Unity. I'm learning how to create avatars. I'm learning how to create levels for VR chat. That's what I'm into right now. As far as Population 1, I was a little put off by that game when it first was about to come out, because I was I was more sour to what happened, and I'll explain what happened in a minute, because of the HTC story I told you guys, right? Where they brought a bunch of YouTubers and they just kind of
I know where this is going.
yeah. So with Population 1, they had their embargo lift, so a bunch of YouTubers got all their Population 1 videos out and got a bunch of people excited. But back when that beta came out, there was no information that there would be paid microtransactions in the game.
They hid it everywhere. They did not put anything that would even hint to, oh wow, look, this might be a spot where they could put in microtransactions. They didn't even. It was completely hidden, and that was what was so tasteless about it, right? Yeah,
I really didn't like that. So that and what sucks is I really enjoyed the game when I was playing it in beta. I was even about to post a video that day about how I liked it. But once it was only one day after that they said, hey, there's gonna be microtransactions paid in this paid game, which I'm at the point where I don't care if the game has microtransactions. Just don't, like you said, hide it before you lift an embargo, because we can't tell consumers about it beforehand, which is So I ended up making a video talking about that. And a lot of people thought I was just hating on Population 1. And I think people, first of all, don't understand. A lot of people our age grew up with games where, first of all, paid microtransactions were just not a thing. Like, the game came out and you had a lot of content available and you can unlock stuff. Grapple Tournament VR, for example, where we have the that tournament coming up. That game has 100 cosmetics for free right out of the gate.
Yep.
But I'm at the point where it's okay. I'm fine that they're doing that. They're doing all these events to help make it worth it. But just don't hide very big features that are, first of all, if you do a battle pass system, which are literally designed to kind of make people want to just buy stuff. They don't want to wait or play the game, especially with a very low and slow XP gain. They don't want to wait. They just want to
Yeah.
They got this very glowy button here that says buy, and it's beautiful skin. And them hiding that put off the game for me. So I don't really play it much because I'm still a little put off by it, but I do feel the game is really fun. Even though it's very casualized when it comes to a lot of VR shooters, but it's just that kind of put a sour taste in my mouth. It's just like with the Quest 2 stuff. Like,
it should.
Quest 2 is so good, but it's like there's
have
a sour
some fucking
taste
integrity,
for me.
people. And
I know.
I think that's important, and I appreciate
Integrity is important.
I appreciate that you have integrity and that you're willing to be like, actually, you know what? No, fuck you, because you shouldn't have done that. You know, that was not the right move, so I'm not going to support you. And I haven't found many spaces in the VR space that I've felt that passionately about, but I haven't eaten McDonald's or Burger King and Taco Bell in like 10 fucking years, or maybe it's been like 8 years, I don't know, but I swore that shit off and I have not fucking been back. And I like don't shop at Walmart. I've been in there, but like I don't shop at Walmart and shit. I don't care if you do.
If you don't like something, don't do it.
I don't care if you eat fucking fast food or you shop at Walmart, but the point I'm making is that I realized that those were companies that were never going to get another dollar from me. I don't care how convenient it is. I do not agree with their practices, therefore I'm not going to participate in it. And
stand by your morals, people.
I'm not doing anything with VR yet, right? Like I have a Quest, I'm going to use it today or whatever. But you know, I appreciate that you are leaning into that. You know, being in the VR community for so long, you know, I mean, I'm a baby compared to you. I've been here for, you know, maybe 2 years or something. You know, so I'm still pretty fresh as far as VR is concerned. So you have that experience under your belt, you know.
I just want to educate why these things are wrong, and people will take it the wrong way, but there will be a few people that understand why these things shouldn't be happening. I don't want the VR gaming industry to become like the AAA industry and all their bad practices. We have a chance. We're starting fresh from the beginning. We have a chance to not be like that. But when I see stuff like what they did, it doesn't make me feel excited for the future of VR. So.
Yeah, I feel you. You know, we're going to get to a place too where foveated rendering is going to be a big thing with eye tracking, right? And for anyone that might not know what that is, it's like wherever you look is the only place that it would be rendered fully, which would take a huge load off your graphics card and your processor and all that. So it's a big deal. But that also comes with companies knowing what you're looking at, how long you look at it. You know, it's unintentional when we look at things. It's a very hard thing to control the data you're going to give them with that as well. So setting these morals and getting people excited about being ethical with this stuff now is so important now, because everyone's attitude is, well, everyone else is doing it, so this might as well, this is fine. You know, everyone else is shooting everyone, so I might as well do it too. No, that's bullshit. You know, two wrongs don't make a right. So let's put our foot down before it gets too big, because once it gets too big, it's a hard machine to change. So I feel you, bro. I feel you.
Folks, if you're not subscribed, like and subscribe to this shit, because you're here, so you should be subscribed, right? Below we have links for our guest today, who sadly is Bradley. He's awesome. What can we expect from your channel? VR chat and Unity shit? You gonna start posting some of that?
Dude, my channel is literally either whatever pisses me off, whatever excites me, or whatever like I can teach people. That's basically my channel.
Nice. Nice.
Your channel is your passion incarnate, brought to life, and they're in video form for all of us to enjoy. Dude, this has been so much fun, man.
Yes. Blasty blast. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
No,
Thank you so much.
I love having a platform to explain all my stories and all my rants. It's great.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, we enjoyed having you.
We did, and we'll leave the door open. So if you want to come back sometime, you're welcome to.
And Bradley will be playing with us on the Grapple tournament as well. So that'll be fun. So tune in.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be coming up here in a couple weeks. I'll be announcing all of the dates and the times and stuff really soon. So check out that game if you haven't. There's a free demo on Steam. It's really good.
So I guess we'll see you soon then, Bradley.
Yeah, yep.
All right, let's eject you, buddy.
Thanks for being
coming,
here, man. A pleasure. See ya.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Oh no, my button isn't working. He hasn't been ejected yet.
He's still.
There he goes.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yo, chat. We didn't include you as much as I like to in normal
Yeah.
in the episodes, but it's not always feasible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we try to scan it and read it as much as we can, and your comments are very much appreciated. We love having an audience here. We would do this show without an audience, but having you guys here really just makes this so much fun. So thank you guys all so much for being here. Cody, our Patreon, my fucking bro, thanks for being here, man. Andreas, Croy, VR Bug, Limitless, Space Dust.
Thank you guys.
Mepper, I saw Hussein X was in the chat earlier. Delirium Drew, Zero Cool, VR Bug, Fabster, dude, all the guys who came in to check out Sadly It's Bradley from his Discord. Hellspawn, thank you guys all so much for fucking being here.
Yes.
I'm bouncing. I'm taking off for the weekend, so you guys probably won't hear too much from me this weekend. What are we doing next week, Skiva?
Next week, we're going to have on Tom Fisk of Virtual Perceptions. He is a great dude, and he's really big with getting all the VR news out there direct to your inbox every week, and it's really good stuff. Great newsletter. Go over there, check it out, sign up. He's going to come on and tell us all about what it's like to do this stuff.
I follow Tom on Twitter.
Yeah.
And if you don't follow Tom on Twitter, you probably should now, because you can start to get familiar with what kind of guy he is, so that we have him on the show and you're super ready. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Thank you all again. Between Realities, it's a fucking pleasure. We will see you in a week. Goodbye.
Bye.